Everybody, welcome to week 3, the final week of the Victoria Marie Spring Clean Challenge. This week, we are going to organize our photos. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this week because, like me, you might have a ton of photos to organize both print and digital. So we're going to attack that this week. But we're not going to attack all the photos, just like with our other challenges. We're going to focus on one set of photos. So we're just going to start small and go from there and hopefully build some momentum so that we can continue to organize and purge and manage our photos. So to start out with, there are a couple of things that I want to do. This is going to be a 3-video series this week. So the first video, what I'm going to do is basically talk about real briefly how I store my print and digital photos. And the next video, I'm going to talk specifically about organizing and managing your digital photos. And then the last week, I'm going to talk about how you can organize your print photos. Now, all you need to do is just identify a starting point. So for me, I want to organize some of the photos that are on my camera because I have over 6,799 photos on my iPhone camera. They're just kind of sitting there that I need to do something with. For you, it may be print photos. It may be a box somewhere that you've been trying to get to for the longest time and you haven't. Or maybe you have several thousand digital photos that you want to print out. We're only going to start with a small cross section of those photos. And hopefully this exercise will inspire you to continue on. Now, just like with the other weeks, you will set up your own organization and purge criteria that fits your needs and how you manage your photos. But of course, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of tips as well as some information on how you can do that. So without further ado, let's talk about how I store and manage my print and digital photos. So here's some examples of how I store my print photos. And typically what I do is the photos that are stored in these photo boxes are all from batch printing. So after I go through and organize and sort my photos, whether they're already printed or I've had them developed from a 35mm roll, even an Instamatic roll, those cost a lot to develop these days, or if I print them from a digital print, any of those batch prints will go into a photo-safe box. Now you can purchase photo-safe boxes from any craft or hobby store. They're very inexpensive, and you can also set them up and maintain them however you want. I do recommend that you get photo-safe boxes, and we'll talk a lot more about that in the third video. So typically what I'll do, if I batch print a photo, or photos rather, then I try to put them into photo albums, and I'll buy a photo album either on the same day or very soon after I batch print. So this is an example of an album that I put together recently. I went through all of my 2007 photos and printed those out after I purged the ones that I didn't want. And I went through and I just organized them nice into this photo album. Now there's no photo here that I desire to scrapbook at the moment, so I'm okay with these living in a photo album. And I think the key here is not to feel compelled to scrapbook all of your photos. It is okay to set up a photo album and have those on hand as well. Now, the secondary way that I store my photos, of course, are in these photo-safe boxes. You can get these at any of your craft and hobby stores. I got this at Michael's. I think I got this at either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I can't remember, and I don't remember the name of the manufacturer. But if this is something that's familiar to you, and if you know of the manufacturer, just post that below. And the way that I organize them, just like with my digital photos, I will organize my photos by year and then by theme. So this is an example of some batch prints that I've done from 2014. And then I have these little labels that I just made from some little sticky notes. Nothing special, right? You don't need to break the bank in doing this. And so I have things like family fun, and then next to that, let's see, Valentine's Day, my daughter's 4th birthday, which I have a lot of photos of, Christmas 2013. So this allows me to go back and cross-reference any event that I wish to scrapbook or put in an album. It's already organized and ready to go. So that's how I organize my print photos. Now, I will typically keep these in what I like to call cold storage, and I adopted that term from Stacy Julian. She's done several classes and YouTube videos on her photo organization method, and so I kind of adopted that term from her. So a lot of these photos, if they don't go into a photo album, if they're not scrapbooked, then I'll keep them in cold storage, and that is okay. And those will usually stay in my closet in these photo safe boxes. I also keep a lot of extra prints, not a ton of them, but some extra prints as well. So here's an extra print. I've scrapbooked this one already, but that was of me and my spouse and our little one at the time. Some other little baby pictures. Look how cute she was. That was her when she was first starting to smile and cut up. So precious. So a lot of extra pictures that I just kind of have hanging out. that I like to have on hand for projects, particularly now that Corinne's in elementary school. They're always doing a project of some sort that may require a picture. I know that I can dig in here and I can pick out any extra photos that I need to do any type of other projects. I try not to hang on to too many duplicates, but I do hang on to some of them here in my cold storage. And we'll come back to this a little bit later on in the week. All right, so I'm going to briefly talk about how I store and manage my digital photos, and I'm going to go through in much more detail in the second video about some ways that you can manage and organize your digital photos. But this is how I organize my photos. So the first thing I do is my photos are automatically uploaded typically to an app called iPhoto that's on my iMac. Now I use all Mac-based technology, so my iPhone, my iPad, my iMac are all synced. Also, too, my photos and other information that I put on these devices are saved to what's called iCloud. And that is a web-based technology for Apple users where you can manage and maintain all of your information, which is great for those of you who are Apple users. Now, there may be a similar technology for those who use PC-based technologies. I'm not aware of that. So you definitely want to utilize any of those technologies that'll help you manage your digital media. But for me, I use iPhoto. So all of the photos are uploaded to my iPhoto, whether they're automatically there or whether they automatically upload or I upload them. Also, too, if I'm using a USB or if I'm using a memory card, then I can put that into my computer and upload my photos as well. Once my photos are here in my iPhoto app, then of course I can manage them any way that I need to. So I can alter them in some way, crop them, that type of thing, delete any duplicate photos, and basically just clean up all of these photos. There's probably about 6,000 photos that are right on my iPhoto right now. I am not comfortable with only using one way of storing my photos. So once my photos are here and I've organized them and pared them down to the ones that I really want, and we'll talk about that process in video 2, I'm going to minimize this screen and I have my external hard drive screen pulled up. Now, an external hard drive is essentially a fancy giganto USB that you can plug into your computer and you can save any data on there. And it's external because it's portable. You can hook it up to your computer, take it out, take it anywhere you want to, and it provides you a lot of space. I have 1 terabyte on this external hard drive, so I have plenty of room for photos and other digital media, such as my videos and that type of thing. So as you can see here on my external hard drive, I have some folders set up. So 2007, 2008, 2009, etc. Within those folders, I have some themed folders. So just like with my print photos, I like to organize my digital photos first by year, then by theme. And this allows me to cross-reference the photos that I need at any given time. So if I want to go back and I want to scrapbook or print photos from Easter 2007, I have a whole folder with photos from Easter 2007 that I can then go through and pick what I want. Now, nothing goes into these photos unless I have purged and let go of any duplicates or any photos that I don't want here in my iPhoto Manager first. And then when I'm ready, I will go ahead and save the photos that I absolutely want here on my external hard drive by simply highlighting the items that I want. I'll copy these and then paste them into the folder that I want them to go into. All right, so I already have my 2017 folder all ready to go. So I'm going to click on 2017, and the first themed item that I have here, because I'm starting to organize photos for this year so far, is spring break, and that's the most recent event that's happened. So I want to go ahead and get that done. So here in my iPhoto, all I did was I went through and I started organizing those photos that I wanted to keep, and I got rid of any duplicates. Then I came over here, created a folder under my 2017 folder. All of the spring break photos are going to go here. And there we go. Here are some of those spring break photos. Now, what I will typically do is I will designate a folder that says scrapbook. So any photos that I want to scrapbook will go into that folder. And there they are. So these are the ones that I know that I'm going to print and maybe potentially scrapbook down the road. Now, once I have all of these photos nice and organized and in their great little folders, what I want to do is I want to batch print them. So I'll select a folder or select a year that I want to batch print, and I'll go to one of my favorite photo processors, which is Persnickety Prints. Now, of course, there are tons of photo processors out there. You can print your photos at home. You can have them sent to your local drugstore. You can do so many things. But I do try to batch print those digital photos. It's one thing to have them in digital form. It's another thing to print them. So I highly encourage you to print those photos. Scrapbook them, put them in photo albums, put them in frames. Those photos deserve to be seen. So what I do is I log into my Persicity Prints account, and then I upload the photos that I want to print. And that is how I manage my digital photos. Okay, so that was a quick overview of how I manage my print and digital photos. And next up, I'm going to talk more specifically about how you can organize and manage your digital photos, as well as some cloud-based technologies for you to consider when backing up your digital photos, which is so important. And then we're going to talk about organizing those photos that are already printed that we have stored in boxes throughout our house. So make sure that you stay tuned for those videos to come here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. Now, if you haven't already done so, make sure you go to the Victoria Marie Facebook group. Down below is the link, and join us, because that's where you can post your before and after pictures of all of the little organization things that you've been doing this week, whether it was organizing your space, organizing your layouts, or organizing your photos, and your name can be entered to win a mystery scrapbook organization prize, and I'll announce that winner next week. So stay tuned. Now, one thing to remember, we're not organizing all the photos. We're just picking one starting place. So whether that's the photos on your phone, maybe there's a box of photos sitting at the top of your closet that you want to organize, just pick a starting place and come play along. All right, stay tuned. More videos to come this week.